Welcome to Euro Bangla City SATV News. This is Shibala Alam with our headlines. Prime Minister calls for a global roadmap to achieve SDGs fighting COVID at 9th Annual International Conference conferred with UN's SDG Progress Award. RT-PCR test to begin at Dhaka Airport within 3 days, said Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Minister. Truck-covered van owners and workers start 72-hour nationwide strike to press home their 15-point demand. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has stressed the need for a global roadmap to ensure permanent recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. She said this while addressing virtually the 9th Annual International Conference on Sustainable Development on Monday. Sheikh Hasina, in her speech, put forward a 5-point proposal that is required to address properly the global COVID-19 pandemic to ensure achieving the SDGs. The Prime Minister said that the UN should have enhanced coordination in this regard. Meanwhile, UN-sponsored Sustainable Development Solution Network has conferred Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina with SDG Progress Award for Bangladesh's steady course in responding to the universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all. RT-PCR test to begin at Dhaka Airport within a week, said Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Minister Imran Ahmed today. Reportedly, the facility will temporarily begin offering its service from the airport terminal owing to the extra time needed to prepare the lab at the multi-story airport car parking building. The installation work will start after 7 to 10 days since the rapid PCR machines will be brought from abroad, he said while visiting Dhaka Airport on Tuesday morning. Bangladesh Covered Van Truck Prime Movers Good Transportation Owners Association and Bangladesh Truck Driver Workers Federation have started a 72-hour nationwide strike to press home their 15-point demand. The cargo transport owners and workers started the work abstention at 6 a.m. on Tuesday. The suspension of goods transportation services has resulted in a deadlock at Chittagong Port, and loading and uploading and NCT, CCT and GCB jetties and yards of the port have become uncertain. The High Court today asked the government to appoint doctors for 29 remaining posts at the prison as early as possible in order to provide treatment to prisoners. The High Court bench of Justice M. Inayatur Rahim and Justice Muhammad Mustafizur Rahman passed the order verbally while hearing a writ petition filed by Supreme Court lawyer Muhammad J.R. Khan Robin on February 18 in 2019, seeking necessary order on the issue. Earlier in the day, Shafiqul Islam, lawyer for the Inspector General of Prisons, submitted a report to the High Court saying that a total of 112 physicians have already been appointed for providing treatment to the prisoner at 68 prisons across the country, while 29 posts are now lying vacant. Viewers are taking a short break. Stay with Euro Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back. You're watching Euro Bangla City SATV News. Now international news. Justin Trudeau is set to remain as Canada's Prime Minister as his Liberal Party won a victory in Monday's parliamentary elections. They led the way with 156 votes. The Prime Minister gambled on an early election in a bid to win the majority in the House of Commons based on his handling of the COVID-19 crisis. However, Trudeau fell 14 short of the votes needed. With the minority government, he has have to rely on opposition parties to govern. Some voters expressed discontent with the call for a nationwide election during a fourth wave of the pandemic. U.S. State Department said President Joe Biden's administration wants to nearly double the number of refugees admitted to the United States to 125,000 in the upcoming fiscal year. The plan to dramatically increase refugee admission comes through at a time when tens of thousands of Afghan refugees are on U.S. military bases awaiting resettlement in the United States. Biden promised to reverse course after his predecessor's Republican President Donald Trump cut the refugee cap to 15,000, the lowest level in the history of the modern refugee program. Biden initially left that level in place but backtracked in the face of criticism from immigration advocates. Biden has struggled with mixed messaging on immigration. Apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexico border are at 20-year highs, and most recently thousands of mainly Haitian migrants have been deported en masse after setting up a makeshift encampment under the international bridge in southern Texas. Once renowned for the world-class cinema, Hong Kong's film industry was already struggling before the latest hurdle. Chinese mainland style censorship as authorities take their purge of dissent into the cultural sphere. Filmmaker Mok Kwan Ling's heart sank when the email from the government censors dropped. In June, authorities announced all films would now be scrutinized for national security breaches. Mok was the first known to have fallen foul of these rules. For months, she had been putting together her debut, a 27-minute drama inspired by the many young couples she encountered during huge democracy protests 2 years ago. It tells the story of a young woman meeting her boyfriend's parents after he is arrested for taking part in the protest. Mok said Hong Kong film censors were not happy with what was submitted and ordered her to make 14 cuts. The censor also demanded the film be renamed and carry a warning that it showed criminal offences. Before ending, we go to the Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Prime Minister calls for global roadmap to achieve SDGs fighting COVID at 9th Annual International Conference conferred with UN's SDG Progress Award. RT-PCR test to begin at Dhaka Airport within 3 days, said Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Minister. Truck-covered van owners and workers start 72-hour nationwide strike to press home the demand of 15 points. We are up to date so far here on Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.